I'm 29 years old and my body is being torn up by a labor shortage. So, for those of you in cabin country that think people from the cities are lazy, consider those who have, you know, worked through the whole pandemic. I'm tougher than all of you. That said, someone my age doesn't really think about Social Security much. It's that part of the pay stub that funds it, and the narrative on that is that millennials can't expect to see Social Security funds. In fact, that fund is going to be insolvent in about 10 years. A lot of baby boomers are going to die in that period, and they're the ones who benefit from the program and love it the most. So, if you have, and I'm just spitballing here, a dad in Delaware that is retired and uses that towards his mortgage, so he can do frivolous beach activities, you're paying for it. You're paying for someone else's pleasure, even though they did a lot of terrible stuff to the planet and the economy along the way. So, that's nice. And that's the sticking point I have with Social Security. Why should baby boomers get a free ride while people like myself, who worked during the whole pandemic, get crushed? It doesn't seem fair, and it isn't. And to make matters worse, that part of the pay stub, that's called a payroll tax. And the less you make, the more you have to pay. Now, the original reasoning behind that is because it was, that you have the workers working hard, putting more into it, and they benefit most from the supplemental income. So the pension supplement part was a solution looking for a problem. And here we are. That fund is about to go insolvent. It could go insolvent ahead of schedule because of people not like myself being laid off or quitting and sitting things out for a while. And the federal government did give enough aid for that to happen. That's not the only reason we're facing shortages, but it's one of them. So, there's this sentiment being spread everywhere. You have right-wingers saying, Social Security is about to go insolvent, the Democrats should do something. You have Democrats saying, tax the rich, and that's easier said than done. The big problem I have is that I put a lot of money into this thing, and people are telling me I'm not going to get anything from it. Now, at best, you have people out there who are taking Social Security disability. That is something that is abused in some places and in some cases, but in negligible amounts. And also, the disability payment system is wrong and terrible in how it works. And I get it, if you're going to choose not to work, you should follow through on that decision. And I get that just about anyone in a tight labor market like this could probably find some kind of work. But as hard of a pill as it is to swallow, there are Americans who are unable to work whatsoever because of the labor market, because of the standards employers have, and people who probably could fulfill a position not being able to find one. It is just too difficult to let that happen. To just let the free market take care of the whole thing. Well, at that point, I don't really consider that a free market. But hey, that's really the stalemate involving Social Security, and that's why we keep hearing that nothing is expected to be done about this. You have two parties entrenched in these positions. The fix appears to be really simple, though. Like, everyone can benefit from Social Security, and the payroll tax can be reformed. And I mean, if it's cut, it doesn't really help the fund at all. But if people had more money in each pay period, then that's going to help the economy a lot. The net benefits outweigh the reduction, but there doesn't even have to be a reduction. The scale of the payroll tax is you make more, you put in less. Until you make so much that you don't put anything into Social Security. What I would like to do is take, I think my payroll tax rate is like above or close to 20%. That's enough to buy a Chromebook every time I get paid. Every month or so, or every other week, depending on what Chromebook that is. And, I'm a bit fascinated with the technology. I got the wires here to prove it. So my argument is just, let's have a flat payroll tax. So you'll have people who are working jobs and really essential jobs like retail and home care. They'll have more money in their pocket and put it into the economy, and then you have middle income people like physicians' assistants and nurses. They'll pay a bit more, but it's the same percentage as a McDonald's employee. That payroll tax should be 15%. That would make a lot more money go into the fund. And for almost all of America at this point, it would be a tax cut. And it would be a tax cut for people who tend to spend money on things like essentials, and there might possibly be more left over for something like a wireless charger. I'm just spitballing here. So that is my Minnesota perspective on Social Security. Someone do the math on that. I mean, if there is any flat tax America should have, it's that one. Thanks for listening, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.